Start recording. Okay, I've got two more people I'm waiting for. So we will see what happens. Today, for you will need a pillow or a cushion. And a strap. Possibly you want a pillow, cushion, and a strap. So I'm going to give these people 1 minute. And then if they're not here, that's it. I start going. So I know that it is early for everyone this week. I hope everyone had a really good New Year and enjoyed Christmas and time, some sleep. Hopefully none of you got COVID. Right. Oh, I think they're going to be late. And if I see them, I see them. I'm not here yet. Problem is, when I've got my head down, I can't see this screen, which pops up if anyone new arrives. Oh, there's one. Oh, just in the nick of time. Right, we're going to get going. We're going to start on the mat, obviously. Any injuries that I'm not aware of, I've got a shoulder injury and I've got a hamstring injury. Anything else I'm not aware of, please shout out to me at this point in time. If you're just joining, you will need a strap and a cushion, and please mute yourselves. Okay, so let's start with some breathing. We're going to be in a standing position at the front of your mat. So feet can either be together, or if that feels really uncomfortable, have your feet hip distance apart. And really, it's up to you and what feels best for your body. Really ground your feet down. So think of the heel, the big toe, the little toe, really grounding. Elizabeth, you need to mute yourself. Yeah, good morning. It's nice to have you all here. Hands pointing down towards the ground. Fingertips are really strong in this position. And I think of lifting up with the front of my shins into my kneecaps. And I think of lifting up the front of my thighs and the back of the thighs into my hips. From here, I lift up with my belly button and tuck it underneath my rib cage. I lift up with my chest as I breathe in nice and deeply. I lift with the crown of my head, and then as I exhale, I let everything relax nice and slowly from the crown of my head, through my shoulders, through my spine. My hips soften, my legs and my knees soften, my ankles soften, even my feet and my toes soften. So I think of it about almost like trying to suck all the fluid up from my feet as I inhale. And then as I exhale, it's almost like that fluid just falls just very slowly, a little bit, not quite as much as you'd think. If you prefer to do this with your eyes closed, please close your eyes. If you find that your balance is offset by closing your eyes, have your eyes open. And this is a pumping mechanism that is going to pull your lymph, mainly from your gut, up in towards your rib cage. So that any toxins that you have had build up overnight, it's going to get rid of them. And the body is absolutely amazing. On your next inhale, slowly open your eyes. Make your gaze nice and soft. Lifting your arms all the way up overhead. Lovely big stretch as you reach your arms towards the ceiling. Feel your rib cage lift up. Feel your shoulders rise into your ears. And then exhale, bring your arms all the way back down to your hips. Inhaling, lifting your arms all the way up. Overhead, shoulders coming into your ears, and then exhaling. Arms come all the way back down to your hips. We've got 3 more of these. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up, overhead. Really nice big stretch. And then exhale, relax everything back out again. We're using contraction and relaxation to create nice big length in your body here. On your next exhale, step back with your right leg just slightly. And then from here, you're going to hinge your hips backwards. Get your left leg is straight. Your spine is nice and straight. And it's a very gentle hamstring stretch. First thing in the morning. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up, straighten both legs. Exhale, hinge your hips all the way backwards. Hands come down towards the ground. Nice straight back. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up, straighten both legs. Exhale, hinge your legs backwards or your hips backwards. Hands come down towards the ground. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling, last one. And exhaling, trying to get your hips as deep as you can while straightening your spine. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Right foot steps forward, left foot steps backwards. Hinge your hips as far back as feels comfortable. Right leg is straight, left leg is bent. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge your hips backwards. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Exhale, hinging. Last one, inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your left leg up in towards your chest, balancing on your right foot. Big toe, little toe, heel. Hold your left leg in towards you, wrap your arms around, give your leg a little bit of a squeeze, nice supported hold. Very nice work, everyone. From here, left leg comes down, right leg comes all the way up in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your leg. Give it a nice squeeze. Try and get your thigh all the way onto your rib cage. Really use your arms here. It's very rare that I let you use your arms in this kind of pose, so enjoy it while you have it. And then exhale, bring your right leg all the way back down again. Right leg steps backwards, right heel drops in, and left foot steps or stays forwards. Put a nice little bend in both knees from here, inhaling, lifting your arms up to shoulder height into warrior two. It is a gentle morning this morning. I did some yoga yesterday and I really felt stiff. So I'm going to be quite gentle, or try and be quite gentle with your bodies, just because some of you may not have moved as much. So from here, left arm comes down onto your left thigh. All right, arm sweeps all the way up overhead. And I really am thinking about creating a line from my right foot up to my right hip, my right shoulder, and my right hand. Stretching out the side of my body. When you can either look down or look up towards your hand. Inhaling, arms spiral lifting your arms up overhead. And then exhaling, left foot steps backwards, arms come out to either side. Left foot is slightly turned in, right hand is forward, left hand is backwards, tucking your tailbone underneath. Feel a lovely strong stretch, and I'm not stopping moving, so my hands are really, with every single breath, I'm trying to pull them away from each other. I'm seeing a little bit of the bum bending in a few people, so think about drawing your belly button in towards your spine and slowly tucking your tailbone under a little bit in this position if you can. From here, right hand comes down onto your right thigh, left hand sweeps all the way up overhead. You can either look up towards your hand or down towards the ground. And again, I'm thinking about moving millimeter by millimeter, creating slightly more length in my body. So there are over 600 muscles in your body. Imagine creating 1 millimeter in each of those 600 muscles. That's a lot of length. 60 centimeters. That would be a lot. From here, spiral your arms all the way up, overhead, step forwards with your left foot, and then exhale. First asana of the morning, coming down towards the ground. Hamstring injuries, you are popping a bend in your knee. I'm also going for a bend in my knees because my hamstrings feel really tight this morning. And I want to be nice and gentle. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Crown of head comes down towards the ground. Nice, really long spine here. Inhale. Straight back. Hands underneath your shoulders. Again, I'm just going to do a bit of a reminder. You don't have to have your hands on the ground. I am looking for that straight back position because it strengthens the spine. Hands then come down onto the ground. You may need to bend your knees. Step back with your right foot. Shoulder blades pull apart at this point in time. Hands are pressing into the ground. This is the first part of crow pose. So this is where you're feeling for your thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. No, we're not doing crow pose today, but it's a reminder. Left foot steps backwards. We're in a high plank. Shoulders are drawing away from each other. Tailbone is slightly tucked under. And you're pulling your head into the back of your skull. A lot of people, their head comes forwards. Lift your head up. Knees come down onto the ground. Keep your core working here. Then it's that drift forwards. My shoulders coming forwards of my elbows as my chest comes down onto the ground. Relax your feet, lifting into a small little cobra. Be gentle with your backs this morning, please. Elbows drawing in towards you. Feel the strength in your spine here. Should feel your legs working. We're not relaxing. From here, hands press into the ground. Gently press yourself back up and down into a child's pose. Child's pose is always available. You can take 5 breaths in child's pose. If you've got any tightness in your shoulders, come into a Y position rather than a straight armed position. And breathe, get that pump action working. I'm going to choose a Y position this morning. If it's too much for your arms and your shoulders, put a bend in your elbows. If you are sore in your arms or shoulders, and then people have had vaccines and lots of things going on as well, please choose child pose instead of downward facing dog. If you do want to do a downward facing dog alternative, you can pop a cushion underneath your knees and come into a tabletop and then slightly push backwards. And you're trying to get a little bit of strength into your arms. So I'm putting my shoulders wide and my hips are coming backwards, and I really am using my core at the same time. So you can come into almost like a tabletop position, but with your hips backwards, halfway in between child's pose and tabletop. Tuck your feet under and then lift your hips all the way up into the air, into downward facing dog. And we're thinking lift and drift up towards the ceiling. Little bend in your knee. Straight line between your hands, shoulders, and your hips. Shoulders are nice and wide at the spine, up into your ears. Send a little bit of awareness into your lower back, right at the base of the spine. Feel if there's any tightness going on right at the base of the spine, and try to lift even more if you can to create space. Doesn't matter if your heels come down onto the ground, we don't care about that. We're creating space in your spine. It's almost like self-tractioning your spine. From here, step forwards with your right foot, and then with your left foot. Nice straight back. Really get a lovely stretch, and I'm drifting my hips backwards, almost floating my toes off the ground. I'm very floral this morning with my language. Very rare, much more practical. Hands come down onto the ground. You're going to step back with your left foot. From here, press into your shoulders, draw your shoulder blades apart, and then lift your right leg off the ground and tuck it under so you can come into a very nice relaxed pigeon pose. And we are sitting upright in pigeon this morning. So we are trying to work on your hip flexors and a little bit of spine. If you feel this is a very uncomfortable compression in your lower back, please come forwards. I am very, very tight in my hip flexors, and so I cannot get upright in this position. And I'm going to work with what I've got. So we are going to work here. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. Hands come down onto the ground. Untuck your toes of your left foot. We're going to slingshot that right leg all the way up into a 3-legged dog, into the air. Opening out your right hip should feel delicious. From here, you're going to bring that right leg all the way back down into a pigeon position. Maybe try adjusting that front leg this time and seeing if you can get it a little bit more at 90 degrees to the front of the mat, the lower leg. If you can't, doesn't matter. You're going to inhale, lift your arms all the way up overhead. This is going to put more pressure on your spine and your rib cage. If it feels too much for you, your hands are on your hips. Okay? If it feels like it's not a comfortable position, don't go for it. Shoulders up into your ears, straight arms. If they're up overhead, you're trying to straighten them as much as you can. Oh, a lot of people getting tired. Okay, hands coming down onto the ground. We're going to lift and kick into a 3-legged dog again. So right leg comes all the way up into the air. Bend your right knee. Open out that right hip. Should feel really good. And from here, you're going to bring the right leg all the way forwards up to your right hand. We're working on a little bit of hips and shoulders at the time. Shoulders are coming broad of your spine, nice and wide. Right foot is wide of your right hand. You're doing a little bit of a lift with your core. So feel your belly button working as you lift slightly with your hips. Pressing into your hands, right foot steps back, come back into a child's pose, nice wide arms. Pressing into your hands, coming back up into downward facing dog. And then from here, you're moving that left leg underneath you into pigeon. This is the first one, so it's quite a relaxed pigeon. And I've probably got maybe 30 degrees on my front leg. And we're going to sit into pigeon for 5 breaths. And this is the one where you can support yourself with your hands. Hands come down onto the mat. Untuck your right toes. Lift your left leg all the way up into the air. 3-legged dog, opening out your left hip. 5 breaths here before we go back into pigeon. And the next inhale, left leg comes forward, and potentially, maybe you get that left leg a little bit closer to being parallel with the front of the mat. Again, if you don't have the movement in your spine or this feels too much work, you're putting your hands on your hips or you're joining me, arms overhead. Hands come down onto the ground. We're kicking back up into a 3-legged dog, but this time you've got a bent left leg. You're bending your left knee, your left foot points down towards the ground, and you really are opening out that left hip, trying to lift the knee up to point towards the ceiling. Left leg comes forward towards your left hand. We're coming into a nice little sprinter lunge. Shoulders are wide of your spine. Left knee is drifting forwards, right heel is drifting back. Shoulders are broad. You are lifting up slightly with your hips. Right knee comes down onto the ground. You might find that you want to put a cushion underneath your right knee just to protect your kneecap. We are going to lift the back foot up in a minute. Left foot is grounded. Okay. I roll slightly forwards onto the front of my thigh before lifting so that I'm not directly on the kneecap. I've lifted my right foot all the way up into the air. My right hand comes back onto my right foot. I'm going to pull that right foot all the way in towards me. And as I do so, I am drawing my belly button in towards my spine to help get a bigger stretch here. Your left hand can go on your left thigh, or if you want to, you can lift it all the way up overhead. Remember, grounding through your left foot will really help with this pose. If you want to, you can reach round, grab hold of your foot with both hands and pull that foot even further in towards you. Draw your elbows together and open your chest out. Releasing your foot, try and control the foot down to the ground. Hands come back down onto your mat. Step back with your left foot. Step forwards with your right foot. Again, I roll and shift forward slightly onto the front of the knee so that I'm not directly on my kneecap. Before then, coming up, my left hand reaches onto my left foot, and your right hand can either be on your left thigh, or if you want to, you can lift your right hand all the way up towards the ceiling. Right hand reaches all the way back towards your right foot, drawing your foot a little bit closer if you can. If this feels really uncomfortable in your shoulders, neck, rib cage, hips, just go for the one hand. And then relaxing that foot nice and slowly back down to the ground. Hands come back down to the ground. From here, you're going to step forwards with your left foot. And then exhale. Come all the way down towards your thighs. Relax your head out. Crown of the head points down. Nice big stretch onto your hamstrings. If you do have a hamstring injury, you're bending your knees. And you're inhaling, lifting your arms all the way up overhead. Before exhaling, coming into chair pose, hinging your hips backwards. And I want you to try and shift your knees as far forward as you possibly can. And you should get a delicious stretch just at the bottom of your heels. Very important. From here, exhaling, coming all the way down towards the ground. Nice, strong position on the hamstrings, using your core. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, hands come down onto your mat. Step back with your left foot. And then with your right foot, high plank position. If you want to bring your knees down, you can do. If you don't, you can join me. Shoulders come all the way forwards, elbows draw into the rib cage. Hey, very good. Inhale, lifting into up dog or cobra. Be careful with your lower backs, please. If it's too much for your lower back, coming into cobra. From here, untuck your toes, lift your hips all the way up into the air. Push back into a downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, left heel draws in. Inhaling, sweeping your arms into warrior one. Exhaling, arms come back down towards the ground. Step back with your right foot. Drawing your elbows backwards into your rib cage. Shoulders come forwards into chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, coming into downward facing dog. Step forwards with your left foot. Right heel draws in. Inhale into warrior one. Exhale, hands come down onto your mat. Left foot steps backwards. Elbows draw into the ribcage. Shoulders forwards into chaturanga. Inhale into up dog or cobra. Exhale, lifting up, downward facing dog or child's pose, because you've got 5 delicious breaths here. Stepping forwards with your right foot, then with your left foot, hips come down towards the ground, and we're coming into a seated position. I know that I don't this early on, go through any core, but we are going to focus quite a lot on core for the next 6 weeks to do a little bit of strengthening. From here, you're going to roll all the way down onto your back. Feet are hip distance apart. And we're going to do some supine cat-cows. It's a really nice exercise to get your core working to begin with. From here, arch your back and then exhale. Draw your spine all the way down onto the floor. Inhale, arching your back again. And then exhale, using your abdomen, draw your spine back down onto the floor. Inhale, create that arch. That arch is your strength in there. You can arch your back. And then exhaling, drawing your abdomen down onto the floor. Inhale, arching your back. And then exhale, drawing your abdomen down onto the floor. From here, knees come up above your hips. So you're creating 90 degrees at your hip knees and 90 degrees at your hips. This may be enough, this position here, where you've got your back flat on the floor, you're drawing your belly button down, your head is resting, but you should feel like your abdomen is slightly working. If you want to get a little bit more work on here, you're going to gently drift your feet away from your body. Drifting, 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 and straightening your legs. So you've got 45 degrees between your feet and the floor. If you can't straighten your legs, don't worry about it. Just work with where you can get to, and then you're going to slowly and gently draw your knees back in towards your hips, bending your knees. And then exhale, send your feet away. 45 degrees is what we're aiming for. And then inhale, drawing your knees back in again. If you cannot strengthen, or if you cannot straighten even your legs, do not worry about it. I am a very short person. I do not have as much weight on my lower body as someone who is Damien's height, for example. We've got 2 more of these. Straighten your legs as much as you can. Draw your back onto the floor. And last one. From here, draw your knees into your chest. Head comes up to meet your knees. Tuck everything in. And then relax everything out. Feet come down onto the ground. Relax your shoulders and your back come onto the ground. From here, if you are able to, lift your chest up, bring a knee in towards your chest. The other foot is down onto the ground, hands to either side of your thighs. Should feel like your core is getting a little bit of work. Right foot comes down, chest comes down. From here, you're going to exhale, lift up, knee comes up in towards your nose, exhaling. Left foot comes down, chest comes down. Inhale, working between them. Right knee comes up, chest comes up, and then inhaling, come back down again. And you're flowing between these moves nice and slowly. We're not rushing this. You've got 1 more rep, finishing on the left side. From here, relaxing back onto your mat. Now we've got the last one in this sequence, which is slightly harder. So I've given you variations. If you find the next one too hard, go back to the previous. Or if you find the last one too hard, go back to the previous variation. So from here, you're going to inhale, lift your chest up off the ground, bring both knees in towards your nose. You're now going to send one leg away. Inhaling, drawing your right knee in towards your chest. Exhaling, send your left knee away. Inhaling, left knee comes towards your chest. Send both legs away. Both legs comes back in again. Send your left knee away. Left leg comes in towards you. Right leg goes away. Right leg comes back in. Both legs go away. Point your toes. Inhale. Draw both knees in. Right leg goes away. So we're alternating. Left leg. Both legs. And back in. Last one. Left leg first. Right leg. Both legs. And then relaxing back onto your mat. From here, feet come hip distance apart. So we're going to do the opposite movements now, which means that we're going to do a bit of chest opening. So from here, you're going to come into bridge position, feet hip distance apart. And when you are ready, press your shoulders into the mat. Slowly tuck your tailbone under, flatten your back onto your mat, and you're going to lift your hips and then lift slowly through each spine in your back. So each vertebrae coming off little by little until you're left with the part between your shoulders and your neck. Draw your shoulders underneath you. Press your hands into the air. If you know you have a back injury, do not try and press too high with your hips. If your back feels completely fine, you can absolutely press your hips high. And we're trying to create an arch almost between your shoulders and your knees. Pressing your hands into the mat, lifting your chest up. And then exhaling, drawing your spine slowly down onto the floor again. Knees come into your chest. Wrap your hands around your knees and hug your knees in, rounding through the whole of your spine. Relax your legs back down onto the floor. Feet are flat on the mat. We have another one of these to go. So slowly flattening your back onto the mat and then drawing up with your tailbone first. Hips coming off the floor. Then your lower back. Then your middle back. Slowly lifting. Feeling your bum, maybe feeling your hamstrings. And then gently bring your hands underneath your spine, clasping your hands together. Finally coming into that last little bit of the arch where you really are lifting the hips as high as you can go. If you want to, you can push a little bit higher by coming onto your tiptoes and really opening out the front of the hip. From here, if you are on your tiptoes, draw your heels down onto the ground. Try and keep your hips in the same place so you really are getting an extra stretch over the top of the hip. And then exhaling, drawing your spine all the way down towards the ground, relaxing your back down. Bring your right knee in and your left knee in. Wrap your hands around your shins. Get a nice little breath in here. So we're going 3 breaths in this nice rounded position. Relaxing your feet back down onto your mat, hands at either side of your body, gently pushing yourself back into a seated position. So if we're doing core, we're also doing hip flexors. And I know everyone loves me doing hip flexors. Right, so feet are nice and relaxed, legs are away. And from here, you're going to lift up through your spine, hands at either side of your thighs. If you do have short arms like me and do struggle to get the heels down, then you can put bricks either side of you, okay, to help you. As you're doing this, you're going to lift your toes and point your toes up towards the ceiling. And then relax your feet and point your toes away. You should feel like your hip flexors work a little bit more as you bring your toes up towards the ceiling. If you're finding that you're sitting back slightly, I want you to take your hands off the ground and lift up with your spine. There are a couple of people who I can see sitting back slightly. I'm going to challenge you a little bit more to try and bring your hips forwards. And you're thinking, rotate forwards with the hips. Okay, it's quite a difficult movement to do. I was doing this with Damien the other day, so he knows probably what's going to come up. Hands press into the ground. And then from here, you're going to try and lift one leg up off the floor. And then draw that right leg back down again. Left leg lifts up. And then draw that left leg back down again. You're going to switch over. Right leg comes up. And then back down again. Left leg comes up. And we really are trying to keep shoulders away from your ears, switching from one side to the other. Very nice. So from here, you can then lift and rock and roll. Both feet come up, point your toes away, hands at either side of your thighs. And then draw your legs slowly and gently back down to the ground and rock forwards. Toes are pointing away. Again, we're going to rock slowly backwards, lift the legs up, point your toes away slightly, and then slowly, ever so slowly, lower your legs all the way down, rock forwards. Last one. From here, rock backwards, lift your legs. Slowly and gently come all the way forwards and rock forwards into a seated position. Draw both feet in towards you. Really draw them as far in as they can possibly go. Let your knees come out to either side. Nice tall spine. Thumb comes onto the inside of your feet. Really are sitting nice and tall here. Feeling that stretch on the inside of your thighs. Again, we're pushing down with your seated bones away from your spine, lifting up with your spine. And then you can hinge forward slightly. Trying to keep your back as straight as you can. Coming all the way back up to seated. Feet go away slightly. Creating a diamond position with your legs. Thumbs come into your the inside of your soles. Give your soles a little bit of a rub. See if there's any tension underneath the inside of your feet. definitely feel like there's a bit of tension underneath my right foot, so it's always good to pay attention to that. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, hinge. From here, coming all the way back up to seated. This one, we're going to slowly round out through your spine, thinking head nice and heavy. Gently trying to come forwards. Your hands wrap around your feet. You're just being nice and heavy with your head. Do not force this. And we've got 5 breaths, just working gently, unrolling through your spine. Inhaling, all the way back up to seated. If you're happy to do so, cross your legs over. Some people might find that they need a brick or a few bricks or a few cushions to lift their hips up for this one. And relax your hip flexors out as we do it. You're going to take your right foot and place your right foot either into the split between your left calf and your left thigh, or if you can reach it, you're going to bring that right foot into your left hip, and then you're going to wrap your forearm around the length of your foot and make sure the big toe is pointing towards your hip as you do this. So we want to get the whole of the big toe involved, and we want the whole of your foot involved, stretching out over the front of the shin, over the front of the ankle. Some people may not feel this. That's fine. Relax your right foot out. Bring your left foot in, either in between your calf and your thigh, or if you can get it into your right hip, excellent. Wrap your forearm over the front of your big toe and wrap that big toe up into your right hip. Leave your left foot where it is. Now, if you want to, you can try and bring your right foot up into a full lotus, where your right foot is tucked into your left knee. If it feels too much for your knees or your hips, do not force it. And then from here, you can then gently hinge forwards. So you can either have one leg in. If you've got both legs in, great. If not, then you can still bend forwards just with one leg. Inhaling, coming all the way back up again. From here, you're going to take your right foot out, then your left foot, right foot comes into your left hip, left foot comes over the top into a full lotus if you can, or you can just have one leg there. And then you can gently come forwards. So probably 2 years ago, I could just about get my feet into my thighs. There was no way I was coming forwards. Now this actually feels quite comfortable. Inhaling, relaxing your feet out, letting them just rest out to either side. And we're going to go into a Shavasana. So this is a great opportunity to grab a blanket because it's really cold this morning. And we're going to spend 5 minutes in Shavasana. Or if you want a jumper, pop a jumper on, whatever works with you. So in Shavasana, I don't tend to dictate in Shavasana because I feel like this is time for you to decide how you want to spend this time. And I know that some people do struggle with Shavasana. I have certainly battled it for many, many years. And the easiest way I can start to drift is I have a single focus point on a memory that is pleasant or on a journey that I'm looking forward to. And I explore that journey. It's very difficult to really explain. Where I let go of every single part of my body, let my body be nice and heavy. And then start to draw in that focus point. And as I start thinking about that one single focus point, I naturally feel my body shift and relax. as you start to become aware of your own. Place a bookmark in your brain of the thought that you were using to try and help you drift. Just as a note to work out that focus point help, or was it more of a hindrance? And if it helped, it's definitely one to contemplate at another time. And if it was a hindrance, use something different in the future and see if that helps. Taking a nice deep inhale, feeling your rib cage expand, and then gently exhaling. Taking another nice deep inhale, and then gently exhaling. Slowly moving your fingers, bringing life to your feet. Arching your back, bring your feet in towards your hips, and then flattening your back off. Making an arch with your back again, and then flattening your back and your spine. And letting your spine come to a neutral position. Rolling your head from right side through to center, and then back to your left side, and then back to center again. Bring your knees into your chest and wrapping your hands around your shins, and slowly rocking from side to side. And then when you're ready, rolling onto one side, and then pushing yourself back into a seated position. Hands on your thighs, hands facing up towards the ceiling, closing your eyes, bowing your head towards your chin, saying namaste. Thank you very much for joining me for yoga this morning. I hope you enjoyed today. We are going to spend the next 5 weeks strengthening shoulders and core. That's going to be the focus. So if you have anything else that you would like to try after this, then let me know. The idea is that we start doing things like headstands and shoulder stands, but we need a little bit of strength in the shoulders to begin with. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and I will hopefully see you next week. Take care. Bye.